We're going to move on to Chicago. So a little backstory, a little context here. We've been covering this saga on our pod of these two Chicago cops back in the day. We're talking 80s and 90s, who apparently were just going around literally framing black and brown people for murder, torturing them to get false confessions, covering up exonerating evidence, and putting them in prison for decades. Now everyone is looking at all of these arrests these two guys have made, exonerating people who get to leave prison after 30 years, 20 years of their lives have been stolen. And yeah, they're getting $1 million settlements. Like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? And who has to foot the bill is the Chicago taxpayers. And that's creating, on top of everything else, budgetary issues for the city of Chicago. So it's just an absolute absurd place to be with a backdrop that is extremely dark. And so out of these two police officers, one of them has been convicted of a crime. It was a different crime, not this. And now we're going to the other one, who for the first time, a jury has found him guilty of something. But let's just dive in before we keep discussing this. So, reading here from the Chicago Tribune. A federal jury has found that disgraced former Chicago police detective Reynaldo Guevara coerced a confession and manipulated evidence in a 1989 murder case, awarding $750,000 to a former Latin Kings gang member who spent 17 years in prison for the crime.
$750,000 is nowhere near worth 17 years of your fucking life.
Nowhere near.
Like,
If you got 17 years stolen from you, I need enough money to where I never have to work again.
Yeah.
Like that, the rest of my life should be a paid vacation from the state.
I need enough money where I never even know. Oh, 17 years? Like, I don't even think about those 17 years, which I don't know if there's enough money to do
There's
that.
not, but at the very least, like, let me retire. Like, give me a retirement. I have to get a job again after this shit.
And it's, I mean, I know it's the story we're talking about, but it's like, oh yeah, we would give you more, but we kind of got to give it to these other victims. We're bankrupting the city, paying out all these victims we've made.
Yeah, I'm sure. Actually, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna guess that because he was gang affiliated, that probably might have been a reason he got much less of a settlement than other victims of these officers. But let's keep going here. After a which I disagree with, to be clear. Like, again, even if you are gang affiliated, 17 years in prison for a crime you did not commit. Yeah, you owe me, so after a 3-week trial that featured Guevara invoking his constitutional right against self-incrimination, the jury late Thursday found in favor of the plaintiff, Jamie Rios, on 6 of 7 counts against Guevara, including that he fabricated information from confidential informants, coerced Rios' confession, and withheld evidence from Rios' criminal trial that he'd beaten a key witness. The jury rejected, however, the request from plaintiff's attorneys for a whopping $40 million in damages, awarding only $750,000 in compensatory damages, which the city must pay, and get this, no money in punitive damages against Guevara himself.
What? He's like literally setting people up, lying, and like he's committing crimes.
Case after case after case after case.
A literal laundry list of crimes this man is committing, and he's no punishment whatsoever.
Yes, against multiple victims.
Why, how is
it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
The level of corruption that they can just like that stories like this can even exist. The fact that on its face, it's immediately like, oh, we should like put this dude's head on a spike and leave it outside the city.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like, you just gonna go be at a Luby's. You catch him at a Luby's, or like he's just able to live his life in fucking
terrorizing communities. And like, these articles never really go into this. Like, they never go into what we really are looking at, which is like 80s and 90s Chicago police, essentially a race war, like going into these communities, rounding up people and stealing their lives from them, and again, these are not one-offs. They were serially doing this. This was what their lives were. We're gonna go to war against this community and ruin this community. So. Back to the article. The mixed bag verdict is the first jury decision in a Guevara-related lawsuit since the 2018 trial in a lawsuit brought by Jacques Rivera. Okay. So I think I was wrong earlier where I said this was the first jury decision. It's the first one since 2018. So that person was rewarded $17.5 million for the 20 years he spent in prison before he was exonerated in 2011. To date, and listen to this carefully. This is insane to wrap your head around. To date, there have been about $141 million in verdicts and settlements in some 12 lawsuits against Guevara, with at least 37 more cases pending in U.S. District Court.
They're going to bankrupt Chicago.
And this guy is just going to spend the rest of his life fucking pleading the fifth in court and just not receiving any real consequences. This dude is still living on a pension, like retirement in Texas.
Insane.
Yes.
Now, maybe it's probably because if this guy faces any punishment, he's like, the city is gonna have to look at other fucking cops who are doing the exact same thing.
Because I mean, like the city is like, what do we even do with this? Like, it's impossible. It's impossible for us to provide. What's the word I'm looking for? Reparations for all this. Restitution. Yeah. And look, I'm not an expert on any of this, but I would imagine all the wealth in America. I mean, we could easily go into the federal government and find funds to help the city of Chicago try to provide some justice for all these people who had their lives stolen from them. So, back to the article. While the jury's award to Rios was one of the smallest in any Guevara lawsuit so far, it does not reflect the total amount of money the case will ultimately cost taxpayers. As of December 31st, the city had shelled out more than $1.1 million to outside law firms to defend the Rios case, city records show, and that figure will climb much higher once the final bills from Chicago are tabulated. So this is another interesting thing to me. And to me, this is where like the city of Chicago is guilty because, again, they continue to hire law firms, which more bill to the taxpayer to defend these dudes.
Clearly,
this guy has 37 more cases. You're gonna hire lawyers to defend every fucking one of this guy's cases.
He should absolutely be having a public defender provided by the city.
Yeah,
and
not even that. He's costing the taxpayer. He should have no public. He should have to pay for a public defender.
That is. He should be a slave to these people. We get one slave now.
Yeah.
You don't.
That's fair. That's fair. One. Just one
slave, and it's this guy. You are
two. The other guy. Let's make it two. All right. We'll make it two. So yeah, that figure, the 1.1 mil to outside law firms, will climb much higher once the final bills from the trial are tabulated. Because the city took the case to trial, taxpayers will also likely have to foot the attorney's fees for the plaintiff, a figure that must be submitted and approved by the judge. The latest trial involved allegations by Rios, an admitted former Latin Kings gang member convicted in the June 27th, 1989 shooting death of rival Spanish Cobras gang member Luis Morales on Northwestern Avenue. Rios' attorneys contend that the case had gone cold when Guevara, who at the time was a gang crime specialist, not a homicide detective, inserted himself into the investigation by claiming two confidential informants had figured Rios as the gunman. Guevara and two colleagues, Mason and then Detective Ernest Halverson, orchestrated a frame-up by coercing one witness to identify Rios by beating him with a phone book and flashlight, and another by threatening to charge him with obstruction, according to the plaintiff's allegations. Rios, meanwhile, gave a court-reported confession to the murder after detectives slammed his head into a table and threatened to take away his kids. This is the shit they were doing in the 80s that the Chicago police was doing
this level
to
of
these
violence
communities.
that they enact on people. Like, this is anybody just having the ability inside of you to slam somebody's head on a table. That's just that one instance. Yeah. You are a cracked out, tweaked person who needs to be, if that is in you to do that one time. These guys were doing this on a systemic scale, on a fucking a regular basis. And
this was their fucking 9 to 5. And was this shit.
People with that type of psyche and mentality are just roaming around, supposed to be protecting us. And why are they protecting someone this demonic, this evil?
Why is the city of Chicago still forking over all this money to defend this person? They don't have to go to outside law firms, expensive-ass law firms, to defend this guy.
I didn't realize this guy was 82 years.
Yeah. So let's keep going here. Guevara, 82, who retired in 2005 and is still pulling a $91,000 annual city pension, has testified multiple times in post-conviction proceedings and lawsuits over the years, but it's become much more rare since he first began invoking the Fifth Amendment some 13 years ago. So this man, for over a decade now, is just going to trial, pleading the fifth, not saying shit, not cooperating, and we are uncovering decades worth of lives, like decades stolen from so many victims. And not only is the city still paying for expensive law firms to defend this guy, they're still paying for his pension. He still gets his retirement. You can't wrap your head around this shit.
It's just a complete, utter from top to bottom failure of the justice system. And it's a symbol. It's a symbological failure of the justice system, and how it's still going on, and still it's like watching a train wreck happen, and then it's like, oh my god, a train wreck happened down there, and then but you're still letting that wreck happen, and still like, oh,
and you're watching them like get more trains to go.
Give them the back.
It is like
put
that.
more black bodies in front of the train.
Yeah. Unlike in criminal proceedings, attorneys are allowed to argue in a civil case that a defendant invoking the Fifth Amendment is doing so to shield himself from potential criminal liability. His testimony last week in Rios' case, taken remotely from San Antonio, Texas, where he now lives, came just days after the city's attorneys recommended aldermen spend $29.2 million to settle 4 separate lawsuits tied to the notorious ex-detective. In his 30 minutes on the stand, Guevara invoked his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination more than 80 times.
It's like, at this point, this guy's never going to see any type of punishment. He's lived his fucking life. He got his racist rocks off to fuck with black people, throw him in jail, and now the reckoning is happening now, but it's like, it's at the end of his life where I want to see officers caught in the moment while they're doing it, not when they're fucking 82 and have lived a literal life of crime.
Yeah. Yeah, I did some cursory research trying to find the numbers. So we got this guy, Guevara, and the other one who's pretty much in the same boat is a guy named Sergeant Ronald Watts. Same thing. They both have so many cases of framing black and brown people in Chicago, and the exonerations are piling up, all these settlements that is putting a strain on Chicago's budget. And combined, if you take these two offered settlements, we got over $285 million cost to the taxpayer of these two people who are not facing jail time, who are just enjoying their pensions.
And it's funny because it just goes to show that, like, white supremacy, the tools of white supremacy, can be used by people of color. Because
of course,
Ronald Watts guy is a black dude, and this fucking Guevara nigga is Hispanic. It's like,
yeah, and they're very useful. They're like actually very useful because they're a lot of the times the ones willing to dive headfirst into it and be like on the front lines, be the infantry. It's sad. It's psychologically interesting, I guess, to say the least. It's some sort of phenomenon going on.
I mean, it's like the police department, policing in the system itself is a tool. It's the white supremacist tool. The laws surrounding it, all of it make that target. This is the apparatus that we use to target black and brown communities. It don't matter. The person doing the target can be black and brown. It's still fucking racist that you're targeting black and brown communities. Yeah. It's only even more insidious that you're doing it to your own people. What kind of fucking dark ass shit is this shit? Yeah.
Crazy.
It's
stuff to try to wrap your head around.
Two guys, and I know there's more because I'm looking up these pictures of like who these guys were, and they're smiling in all of them. That's what makes me upset. Yeah. They're literally smiling and just like walking down the street, just normal guys, like everything's normal. It's like, what the fuck? They just get to live their life while being able to crater Chicago. Chicago can't build schools, new roads. I mean, they can, but like this is affecting it because it literally is an infinite money glitch. Or not an infinite, it's like they're a money pit. Yeah. Just these two dudes. That's fucking wild. Yeah. And then everybody wants to make O Block act like it's bad. No, nigga, it ain't Chief Keef, it's these niggas.
Yeah, they found God. Give it up to O Block.
Chief Keef is great. He's an upstanding citizen.
Yeah. I wish a joyful and solemn Ramadan Kareem to O Block. But let's move on. We got
Muslim. Ironically, Lil Durk is Muslim, so I believe.
Yeah, that's apparently I've seen just on social media that a lot of the people who all that era centered around have converted
to Islam.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.